Hello everybody, and welcome to the Hunter Gatherer channel. And this is the Hunter Gatherer mobile, and we're going to be working on it today. As you see, my shirt, it says I'd rather be in the woods, and that's the truth. But that's coming soon, and we got to work on the vehicle to make sure we can get to the woods. So what's the problem with the vehicle? I've got a major oil leak. But I didn't know I had that problem until my daughter called me broken down on the side of the highway for a major coolant leak. So let's dig into here and we'll show you what happened and show you what the issue is. Like I said, my daughter called me the other day and said, "Dad, I'm on the side of the highway and there's smoke rolling everywhere." I figured it had to be a coolant line, and just so happened to be it was. There's this heater hose right here. It blew out right at the front, and it sprayed coolant everywhere, and it was smoking all over the place. So when I got there to fix the issue, I had picked up a new hose and hooked it all together. I started up the Jeep, and it was like knock 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 knock, and I'm like, oh crap. So I shut it off, and I came out and checked the oil on the dipstick, and right now it's a little low. Again, it's right about here, but it was not on the dipstick at all. So I gave her a call and talked to her about that and asked her if she noticed the noise, and she said not till recently. I added about 4 quarts of oil, and I just kind of scoured the vehicle to try to figure out in the engine compartment. I mean, in the valve cover gasket area, everything is a little wet around. Just different areas were a little wet, but as you can see up here, this is where the coolant blew all over, and so everything was wet with coolant. So it was hard to tell, but I was looking down in the oil filter thinking maybe the oil filter was loose, and I noticed this wet down here, and so I kind of wiped it and looked at it, and at the time everything was coolant, so it looked like coolant. As you can see, that kind of wiped that clean. Well, take a look at this. See how that's popped out like that? I noticed that as well. And so I kind of popped that back in, like so, and thought that was kind of odd. So when I started it back up, we'll see what happened. What you're looking at there is the oil pressure sending unit, or the oil pressure sensor. And that rubber piece is just the boot where the electrical goes in. And these sending units or sensors have a little pressure plate in there, and as you fire up the engine, the oil pressure builds and pushes into that sensor. But after time, that sensor, that pressure plate or whatever, can crack or break and allow oil to escape. So as this vehicle is idling, you saw oil coming out. You can just imagine, as you're at higher RPMs, the amount of oil pressure, and you're going down the road and your oil is just pouring out of your vehicle. So we're going to change that sensor and hopefully eliminate this oil leak. I have my new part here. I got it at the local Advanced Auto. It was like $42, and it's called the engine oil pressure switch, is what they called it. This particular part number, SBC 1046, and this is what it looks like. You kind of saw it on the the Jeep, this is our part here. It's threaded on the one side, and the other side here is just a single wire. You'll need two tools: a regular screwdriver to pry the clip and remove the electrical plug, and the second one is, well, today I'm using an adjustable wrench. I don't have an 1 1/8" open end wrench, but this is an 1 1/8" from what I can tell on my adjustable wrench scale. It might be metric even, because that doesn't look like it's right dead on the line. But I'm gonna use an adjustable wrench, and you can too. Don't feel bad about not having the right box end. Let's see if I can reach down in here. I'm gonna pull that up. It should be pretty well lubricated. We got a ton of oil in that thing. When I push that boot, the oil drips out of the plug. Let's see if we get this wrench down in there. So it's one of those spots where you gotta flip it over and back over and over and back over. I probably could have used a different tool, but this is what we're using. So look at that beauty. So you can see it's full of oil on the inside there. And my guess is it's just feeding right through where that prong is. But this was pretty loose, and that's what I first saw. When I wiggled it, I saw fluid in here, oil in there. I had wiggled it, and I saw oil in that joint that looked pretty fresh. So I had pushed the boot back in and fired it up, and that's when the oil started leaking out the backside. Well, let's get the new one in and then make sure it's not leaking anymore. The engine oil pressure switch screws right into this piece over here, right here. Your oil filter, it connects right into the block, right where the oil filter housing connects. Now that I'm done with the work, I refilled the oil to the full level. I failed to mention that this is a 1993 Jeep Cherokee with a 6-cylinder, 4-liter engine. And I'm not sure where everybody else's oil pressure sensor, oil pressure switch is on any other year models, but that's where this one is. Also, the reason why I knew that it was burning oil really bad or losing oil somewhere is because I had just changed oil like 2 weeks before my daughter borrowed it. I only had like 200 miles on the oil change, so I knew it shouldn't have been out yet because it never burned or used oil before. So it pays to know your vehicle, and you know, I don't check the oil every single day that I use something, but if you're hearing a knocking sound, then you might want to check it. And not that my daughter, I think everything just happened all at once. So it wasn't her fault, but I'm not blaming anybody. I'm just saying that's just the way that I was able to figure out that there was a serious oil leak somewhere, because I knew it had been changed recently and it was full. Anyhow, hopefully this will help you out in your oil leak search. It's a simple fix. Anybody can do this one. And if you got any questions or have any issues with doing this, just put it in the comments below. Hopefully it's helpful again. And if you would, hit that like and subscribe button and leave a comment. Have you done this before? Is there something else that's really known on this for oil leaks? Is there anything that maybe I missed? My first thing that I was worried about was a blown head gasket, just because I know they do that too. But thankfully, with a new hose, some coolant, some oil, and that new switch, I think we're back to ready to hit the woods. So just want to let you know that we love you, God loves you, and we'll see you on the next one. Happy Jeeping, and hopefully you turn some wrenches and fix your own stuff once in a while. And we'll see you guys later.